Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. First of all, countdown. 78 days to go. 78 days remain until Field Marshal Asim Munir's retirement and the arrival of the new army chief in the country. Now, let's move to other news details. First, I present to you yesterday's news. The news may seem old to you, but it is actually new. Yesterday, on September 11th, it was the death anniversary of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. May Allah bless his soul. Yes, the very day when Pakistan's elite, the establishment and everyone whose name you can think of had already turned their backs on Quaid-e-Azam during his lifetime. He was stuck between Karachi airport and his residence in a broken-down ambulance. Flies were sitting on him. His sister, Fatima Jinnah, who was later branded a traitor and against whom then Army Chief Ayub Khan had fabricated all kinds of cheap cases. Even books record that unnatural relationship allegations were made against her and her brother, God forbid, was running inside and outside the ambulance. She didn't understand how to treat her brother's restlessness. There was suffocation, heat, Karachi's weather, flies, and a broken ambulance. But no one was there to help. Quaid-e-Azam must have been thinking, what have I done? For whom have I made this country? History books say that at that time, when Quaid-e-Azam was lying in that old dilapidated ambulance and flies were bothering him, his sister was running inside and outside, asking if another ambulance could be arranged. Meanwhile, at that time, with the French ambassador and our elite, those great people who enjoyed high positions because of Quaid-e-Azam, were busy inside a cocktail party. Exactly like today, you see many so-called big chaudhris, the elite, rallying behind Imran Khan's name. But when it comes to doing something for him, many say they can't. Some even act against him. And those who can help don't, though if they did nothing, it would still benefit Imran Khan. Unfortunately, they do what harms Imran Khan and works against his ideology. Those responsible today, the generals, were perhaps different factors in the establishment back then, but gradually this swarm grew so large that it has consumed the rest of the establishment. Now, only one establishment remains, the army chief and a few of his associates, who themselves are not independent but dependent on the army chief. So in Pakistan, the establishment is just one name, the army chief. The swarm has become so large. Back when Quaid-e-Azam was breathing his last in that broken ambulance, there were other power groups, but they all collectively mocked his helplessness. It is a separate matter that when Jinnah's loyalty was secured, they all became his heirs and wrote grand eulogies for him. To this day, when we study Pakistan's studies, no one ever tells the truth about the painful last days of Quaid-e-Azam. You are always told a happy, glorious story, that Quaid-e-Azam died happily, that this nation owed a debt to him. He himself was helplessly praying, "How will I repay you?" But what did we do to him? If we read authentic history books, our heads would hang in shame. This shamelessness is nothing new. It has been repeated often. Moving on to the next news, because yesterday was September 11th, I wanted to tell you the real thing. You wouldn't have seen anything official on Quaid-e-Azam's death anniversary. No government announcements, no statement from the Prime Minister, no ceremony. They pulled his pictures out from newspaper ads, and then Asif Zardari removed Quaid-e-Azam's photo from the presidential office. And September 11th came and went quietly without any homage or Quran recitations or anything of that sort. If anything happened, it was small and not visible in the official narrative. There might have been some small gestures, but the government has kept a complete distance from Quaid-e-Azam since Field Marshal Asim Munir came into power. This is a great shame, a disgrace for all of us, that his death anniversary came and passed, but no one paid him respect or tribute. The next news? The families of labourers martyred in Balochistan have come to Islamabad to demand justice. Yes, earlier there were many competitions, political competitions or struggles, but now even martyrs are competing. First the Baloch martyrs, now the Punjabi martyrs. Think about how brilliant our generals are and what kind of strategies they make. Instead of healing one wound to prevent it from spreading, they are making wounds fight wounds. They are trying to wash blood with blood. Blood can never be washed with blood, only water can wash blood. Principally, I understand that Punjabis who were killed just by showing their identity cards also deserve justice. There is no doubt about that. They have a right to protest and demand justice. But behind this is a design, a thought process of our generals. Look carefully. There is a protest in Islamabad about missing persons from Balochistan. The protest didn't stop, despite many attempts. They tried negotiations, arrests, dousing with cold water, and other tactics. But Baloch women didn't leave. To counter this, Punjab was brought in. People whose families were killed by showing their identity cards. Now, they have been brought to Islamabad to create a contest, a rivalry between these groups. If this were natural, I would say, fine. They also have a right to protest and ask why their loved ones were killed. But unfortunately, like religion, blasphemy, national security, and strategic depth have always been used by our generals for their own benefit. Today, they are creating rivalry between martyrs' families, pitting them against each other. They brought Punjabis to counter the Baloch missing persons protest, to tell them, look how many Punjabis you killed. I respect their thinking, but trying to wash blood with blood will only worsen the situation. If they had depth or wisdom, they wouldn't create new problems or revive provincialism and sectarianism again. But as I told you before, they only think as far as their own noses. We need extension, and in those days of extension, I told you there would be one circus after another. This is the next circus going on in Islamabad. I told you that the next 47, 79, 72, 75, 50 days left won't pass quietly. Every day there will be some action. Now, some quick news from America. Tomorrow, December 13th, or perhaps December 12th or 13th in the US Congress, a new bill will be introduced demanding that Pakistan hold free and fair elections, stop human rights violations and immediately release innocent political workers, including Imran Khan, who have been wrongfully detained. This bill is introduced by Congressman Husanga, along with 5 other congressmen, making 6 in total. It is a good bill and could have been even stronger with more teeth, including mentioning the Field Marshal by name. The bill number is HR 5271 and will be voted on. Some critics say the bill should be stronger with tougher measures, but some say it's good and should be passed. When this bill passes, then Pakistan's military generals and others who have rigged elections, violated human rights and oppressed people should face sanctions, visa bans, property confiscation and human rights violation cases in the US. Friends supporting this bill say it may not show immediate results, but eventually these generals will be tried. This is similar to old cases like the main person who tortured Shah Farhan, who after decades of impunity is now facing new cases in the US. Despite decades of luxury and business due to these laws, he is now trapped. I've noticed a trend among some Pakistani diaspora friends who, whenever a new bill is coming, they post old photos with congressmen and start thanking them, giving the impression that they caused this bill to pass. Actually, the copy of this bill has been with me for a long time. Pakistan Peace Coalition, or Pak Peace, friends shared it with me and worked on it. I have no credit in this, so I request all those teachers who take credit for others' work just by posting photos, please don't take credit for everything. Every credit should be given to those who deserve it, not taken by tweets or shortcuts. Anyway, congratulations to all friends who have worked on this bill, especially Pak Peace friends. From my side too. As I said, you will get mixed feedback. Some of you will ask what good these bills do because many bills and movements have come and gone without results. I tell you again, just pressing buttons doesn't yield results immediately. It's like water dripping on a stone. It creates a hole eventually. This is kinetic energy. It accumulates and transforms. This energy will find its way. I don't know when, but all this is positive. Praise those who work for these things. This is a good bill for us against our military generals who currently have all the power and are violating human rights. When this bill passes, it will become easier to file cases against them. Next news. At least 200 retired judges are alive but inactive, and the Chief Justice of Pakistan announced a new policy. The judges are like a slaughtered chicken, metaphorically, whose meat fetches a different price than a live chicken. The Chief Justice announced that every retired judge will be provided at least 3 police officers for security by the government. There are reportedly 200 such retired Supreme Court judges alive. This means they need 600 police officers, and considering shifts and leaves, probably between 1,200 to 1,800 officers will be needed to provide security for all retired judges. Normally the Prime Minister would proudly announce this, but since the current PM is like the constitutional bench acting unlawfully, this was quietly implemented. Moreover, the Chief Justice also said that if a retired judge dies, his widow will also be provided with 3 police officers for security. This raises concerns. What if the judge's wife dies first? The state cannot provide security to a deceased person. What if the judge dies first and leaves a widow? The government will have to arrange security for her. This is shameless, especially considering the country situation. People have no food, the whole of Pakistan is flooded, yet this announcement is made. Who among the widows of judges requires 3 police officers for security? What terror threats have they faced? What tough decisions have judges made that require such security? Except for some corrupt systems and a few symbolic acts like the statue in Islamabad raising balls, a metaphor for a controversial statue, judges haven't made such tough decisions to deserve this level of security. Nevertheless, these orders have been given, so may God help us. Now, the Registrar of the Supreme Court has also written a letter to the Interior Department. Let's see what these police aides of the deceased judges' widows do, and what the ones still alive do. Frankly, I don't understand at all what world these people live in, and they don't care at all that the public will utterly criticize us for this. But they are busy with their own work. Secondly, Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa has refused to grant Justice Mansour Ali Shah permission to travel abroad. He wanted to go to attend Yale University's annual events. Justice Faiz Issa did not issue him the NOC. Mashallah, what a childish attitude this is, fulfilling grudges against each other, and these are Supreme Court Chief Justices, senior judges and so on. How are they trying to get along? Only because Justice Mansour Ali Shah pointed out repeatedly that there is wrongdoing happening in the Supreme Court. This wrongdoing was pointed out, so today the Supreme Court is not allowing him to go abroad. In the case number 109/30 of Nomi, a citizen of Abbottabad named Junaid was sentenced to 10 years in prison. When his mother heard this news, she passed away. Yes, this too will be recorded under the Supreme Court's account, which is providing 3 police officers to the widows of judges. Someone should tell them that the illegal decision they made, that wrongdoing where they handed over civilian court cases to military courts, has caused this. Now a citizen, Junaid Ali, was sentenced to 10 years. Upon hearing the news, his mother died. Nobody knows from whom he will take account for his mother's death, but they have done this. All right, moving on. There is a flood in the country. The Prime Minister has gone to Qatar. The flood is now heading to Sindh. Before the flood reaches Sindh, the President is going to China with Bilawal for 10 days. What country in the world does this? Utra Kazmi asked a very serious question, but our official Hajjan and our sister Asma Shirazi, who as you know is Nawaz Sharif's adopted daughter, the whole media knows she is his adopted daughter. In journalism, if anyone is related to their house, it is Asma Shirazi. Whether you call her Maryam Nawaz's foster sister or foster something else, whatever you want to say, please stop playing the woman card. I get tired saying sister, sister again and again. Then you pull out the woman card. If you were a referee doing a football match, I would put a red card right on your forehead and not let you play. Anyway, Asma Shirazi said she is not on vacation but has gone to work, that the tours were planned in advance. No one told her that in the English language there is a word cancel. I don't know if she read it or not. She studied at Punjab University, so she must know the spelling of cancel too. She doesn't know that pre-planned tours can also be cancelled. When there is such a huge flood in the country, these big shots who are going abroad on big planes could have cancelled their tours. But I told you, since she is Nawaz Sharif's adopted daughter, they have to protect her at all costs, so they are busy with that. Now there is a clash between Bilal Azarchiani and Utra Kazmi. You know, Utra Kazmi is a straightforward, honest man. He speaks the truth. Few people in Pakistan speak straightforwardly in such difficult circumstances. Utra Kazmi deserves praise. But Bilal Azarchiani, who lost from Jhelum by 36 to 40,000 votes, won on Form 47. Look at his face. You would think he's a tout. But yesterday, look at God's grace, Utra Kazmi was also called a tout, and was told he is a PTI tout, that he does this and that, and his social media is run by PTI. I don't know who these people are. They have no shame. We've heard the phrase, every thief is a choked partridge, but look, they have no shame. He is a federal minister, he won on Form 47, but listen to his words. He thinks his method is to first insult the other, so that no matter how much nonsense you talk, no one thinks about you. First giving insults is their job. Anyway, Utra Kazmi is doing excellent work, and the whole of Pakistan knows that. On the other hand, there was an incident of rudeness on Asma Shirazi's program yesterday, where he sat comfortably and enjoyed insulting. I can only say this much. The next news is about the British High Commissioner Jane Marriott, who, as you know, is currently roaming around. Opposition alliance leader Mahmood Khan Achakzai met her. He asked a very powerful question, saying to the Western democratic powers, when you all know the results of the February 8th elections were stolen and the government formed on Form 47, what about human rights? How dirty were the elections? Then why are you supporting this thief regime? It was a great question. Obviously, Jane Marriott didn't answer. What could she say? She has been associated with the system for 72 years that gave us a kind of freedom and then took it away. But the question was asked. Mahmud Khan Achakzai asked another pointed question silently. You all know Interloop is a major textile group in Pakistan, but now it is leaving Pakistan and investing 10 billion rupees in Egypt. Interloop is a big name in Pakistan's textile sector. It is leaving Pakistan and going to Egypt because cotton there is very high quality and plentiful around the Nile River valleys. The Egyptian cotton there is considered among the best cotton in the world. In Pakistan, cotton has been ruined by the sugar mill mafia. Now, these textile companies, Field Marshal Asim told us that there was no $100 billion investment here, but companies are leaving. Foreign companies too. I told you about Shell, Total, Uber, Yamaha. Two big Japanese companies that made motorcycles here. Yamaha is leaving Pakistan. Now look, our own company Interloop and many others have gone to Egypt for investment. On the other hand, Shanghai Electric China was trying to buy Karachi Electric. Negotiations have been going on for 9 years for purchasing shares worth $1.8 billion, but they said due to Pakistan's situation they don't want to invest here and asked for forgiveness. So on one side, Interloop left the country, Shell, Total, Uber, Yamaha are leaving, Telenor too, and on the other side Shanghai Electric says no investment here. Meanwhile, the Field Marshal is telling us that he will fix Pakistan's economy by staying here till 2035. So they won't forgive you like that. If you want to fix the economy, given the current conditions, I think our situation will get even worse. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.